and I had a bunch of restaurants when I made Italian pizza. Are you kidding? And so I had some pizza shops down here. So to get from here to here by car would take you 2.5 hours. By helicopter, it's 10 minutes. So there I am. And so I would fly rooftop to rooftop, and that's, you know, kind of like a rock and roll thing, but not really. I needed it. It was practical. I saved a lot of time. How did I get on that story? Okay, doesn't matter. So June, he calls me and he says, we have to change our name. I said, what are you talking about? He says, there's a band called Sons of Angels, and we have they're gonna sue us. We're in trouble. I said, well, you dumbass, you picked that name. And we laughed, and I didn't call him a dumbass. I made that up. I may make a lot of this up. No, I won't. So I said, oh my God, what do you want to do? And he goes, I don't know, do you have a name in mind? And at the time, I was in my very young 30s. I said, you know what, man, I'm never hitting 40, so we should just crush 40. And that is how the name was born. We're now going to change it to Crush 50. God, I hate saying that. But no, anyway, that's how Crush 40, the name, was born. I said, let's just put like a name and a number, and I don't want to turn 40, and let's just do Crush 40. And it works. And then I thought about it for a while, and I said, June, pretty interesting. We have a movie that you go to see in the theater, and then you always have like a soundtrack album, the band. Why don't we have the same concept? Let's have a band behind the game, and a game that supports the band, and here we are, 20 years later, which is pretty cool. Applause. So that was literally the birth of our Crush 40 baby. And I don't change diapers. Used to, but anyway, yeah, so that was the birth of Crush 40, the name, and how we got started. So now we enter this world, I should say, I enter this world of gaming. I don't know a damn thing. Okay, so let me tell you what I know. So there's that Sonic game, the All-Stars Racing thing. All-Star Racing! You know that thing? Yeah. That's the only game I've ever played. You want the truth? I'm giving you the truth. That's it. The gaming's up to you guys. I gotta write the music. All right, so how does the music work? You guys, anyone know? Any idea how that happens? It's pretty wild. And a little bit of, so, here's this is just, okay, we're gonna talk about live and learn. We're gonna talk about all this stuff. But, so, the corporate, there it is. The corporate, yes. Okay, you're upstaging me now. I'm just kidding, that's awesome. So, the whole corporate world, they're designing this game, right? They're architecting everything, and I've got the coolest stuff. I wish I could find, next time I go back to LA, because I don't live there anymore, I live on the East Coast now, I live in Connecticut, and because the helicopter ran out of gas, and so I had to move. No, but yeah, so I moved to the East Coast, and why am I telling you that? Because I don't know why I'm telling you that. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, the whole how corporate works is they architect this game, and then in LA in a locker, I've got the coolest drawings. So they would literally draw out each scene. That's what I would get, just so you guys know, because you might have this vision of they build the whole game, they hand it off to Crush 40, and we look at it like we're in Paramount Theater, and we're like, no. We look at a piece of paper that has these pencil drawings, and each scene is sketched out, and then it's in Japanese, a lot of good that does me, and then there's some English to kind of, just give a quick synopsis of the whole scene. So it'll say like, evil Eggman kicks this one's ass, whatever. And these little things. And I have to take that, and June as well, because June even working for Sega doesn't have full view of the entire architecture of a game. So I don't want this to get too technical. I'm just telling you guys how it works, and then we'll have fun. And so we just kind of look through this thing, and then we have to sort of envision what the scene is going to look like completed. Do you understand? This requires effects. Do you understand how difficult that is? It's really hard. But anyway, so I don't think we've failed it yet, but Jun would take that storyboard and he would get a musical feeling, because music is, I mean, what does music do to us? It really moves us. It makes us feel a certain way. It can make us happy, can make us pissed, make us aggressive, can make us feel however we want to feel, and we can interpret the lyrics however we want and use that however we want for our own life. But so Jun would take the storyboard, he'd read it. Are you filming me also? Tell me the truth. Okay, nice. And that's okay. And he would write a piece of music, and he would send that music to me. Most of the time, I would have to, actually I should say, 10 out of the 20 years, I didn't see Jun at all in the studio. First 10, it was kind of old school. We'd get together, we'd chart things out, we'd work things, you know, like that. Second half of the career, send me a file, and then send me the storyboard, and then we build it from there, which is kind of, it's fun. I gotta be honest with you, it's really cool. It's the most creative you can possibly be. It's sort of helpful. Different, I have probably, guys, 60 albums out worldwide with all the bands and projects I do. And writing gaming music, I have to tell you, is the most rewarding, because you have a little help. You have the vision of what you want to write about in front of you. Then it's just up to you to bring it to 100%. So Jun would provide a piece of music, and then I would provide, you know, the lyrics and melody. Okay, and who played? You played me my. You got that thing?
Sonic Heroes demo.
Sonic Heroes demo. Has anyone heard this thing?
Yeah.
I heard it for the first time today. I remember doing it when I heard it. So the first thing we do is we scat. Do you know what scatting is? Yeah, for singers, like, I'm saying absolutely freaking nothing. But I'm getting the feel of the song down, and you know, the melody ideas down, and that's what I can't believe they put that out there, but that's pretty cool. So that's the stage one of writing. It's all about a feeling, right? It's melody, it's about a feeling, and then lyrics come in. What do I need to accomplish lyrically in this? What's the scene about? What do I want to say? What, you know, stuff like that. I'm proud to say, as a rock and roll guy, I've only had a couple of lyrics rejected because of my language. Sorry. But all in all, it's been, every single piece of music that we've written has been approved. Never had anything not approved. Yeah, not your language, your language. You're out, yeah. Would never fly.
No.
You'd be done. 2 seconds, caddy.
Yeah.
Yes. Soap. Okay, so that's the basics of how we've worked for the past 20 years. And I will honestly say that Jun is like a brother, and Japanese brother, and we just click. You know, sometimes partnerships that you make in your life and business relationships you make, that just work. And we have a catalog of songs. If you guys knew what we had sitting in our files, you would lose your mind. We're just waiting for the next new game. Right? So corporate's there doing their thing, and we're just keep writing songs. So anyway, so this is an open forum to ask me anything you want about the process, about myself. You guys already know I have a small family. I have 2 kids. How you doing? Come on in. Can you bring food? I'm hungry. French fries. Dr. Pepper, nice to see you. So yeah, I have 2 kids, a lovely wife, you know, the horse and the dog and the cat. I don't have a horse. I think anything that goes to the bathroom larger than you should not be a pet. Right? Stop laughing. Just kidding. Anyway, questions, guys. Let's just start, because I didn't realize we didn't have so much. Oh, okay. So we'll just kind of go from the front here.
I just had a quick question. Like,
you can have a long question. Doesn't have to be quick.
It's not too amazingly big. Like,
okay.
For say Sonic Adventure 2, okay?
Yes.
There were actually several artists on there. Some of them I looked up and it's like, wow, I can't believe they're there. Like Paul Shortino from
yeah,
right?
Paul Shortino, yeah.
Did you ever? The way that you worked on that game, if you can remember.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm old, but I'm not that damn old. I can still remember.
Did you ever?
He talks to me like I had dementia.
Well, you know, I've got a dad.
Who am I? Okay, I'm good. No, so your question, sorry.
Have you, like, the way that you worked on the game, have you ever had a chance to meet some of these other artists, or was it kind of like an individual thing? It just so happens that, like, Tony Harnell and Shortino, I know all those guys, because remember, well, maybe you don't know. So I started playing professionally at 11 years old, literally. So I got some funny stories. You want stories?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my coming up in music and my going through school, which was not a lovely experience. And I don't recommend anyone not being academically schooled. This is just my personal situation. So I picked up a guitar, I was 8 years old, and I was playing like Stairway to Heaven and figuring like, wow, that's a pretty cool chord, and that's it. So I knew, literally guys, at 8 years old, I want to be a professional musician, at 8. So my friends playing with Tonka toys, riding their bikes, digging holes, eating worms, whatever they were doing outside, I was inside working and playing and growing my craft. At 11, I went professional. Professional means you're now being paid to perform. That's really the true definition of being a professional whatever. The second you're paid, you're professional. Doesn't mean you're good, it just means you're professional. So I still suck, but I just made $100. So anyway, so going through school was difficult for me because, you leaving me?
No, I have to get my
Okay, go ahead, you do your thing and come right back. You want us to wait for you?
No.
Okay, good, thanks. So going through school was tough for me because I had one thing and one thing on my mind, girls. No, I had that too. No, music. Music, that's it. I appreciated what our past fathers have done for us, and you know, our historians. I appreciated everything. I didn't want to know about it. So I went from class to class. I did what I had to do. I had to get my passing grade, and I moved on. So I'm now in high school, probably 10th grade, okay? And I'm in the newspaper a lot, because when you're in a small town, people are like, oh, he's like a big star guy, whatever. I never got caught up in all this. I'm no different than you guys. I just sing. So why are you laughing? I'm no different than you. He's like, yes, you are. You rock. You rock, man. Okay, so you know, a lot of the teachers and the principals in the school, they recognize that this is what I'm doing. And it was tough for me because I was called to the principal's office a lot. I was not in school a lot, and I don't recommend that, but Fridays I was playing. I was playing the East Coast, or I was on the West Coast. Mondays I was too exhausted to go to school because I was playing Friday and Saturday, and okay. So, security. We all right? All right. So one day, okay, I gotta move on to the story. So one day the principal calls me. Redemption is beautiful. Remember I said that. One day the principal calls me down to the office and he says, Johnny, I know what you're doing. We know that you have a career in mind, but you need your education. And I said, sir, I completely agree with you, but with all due respect, this was not a smart comment. I said, with all due respect, I make more money in one day than you do in 2 weeks.
Whoa! Whoa! Shots fired!
That didn't... Shots fired. That went over like a fart in church. Yeah, not good. So, he laughed. It was kind of cool. He laughed and said, listen, how many sinus infections and stomach aches can one kid get? Because every excuse, why weren't you in school? Like, Mom, just tell him I had a stomach ache. He goes, okay, another stomach ache. Ate too much pasta, meatballs must have been bad, whatever. Johnny's got his stomach. Sorry, he'll be there tomorrow. That was it for me. So he said, look, we know what you're doing, and we know you're working. Just tell us the truth. Remember that. So, that next week, Paul Stanley from KISS calls my house and says, Johnny, I heard your music, and I'm getting into producing, and I'd like to hear some more of your stuff. And I'm like, Mom, I'm staying the hell home this week, and I'm making more stuff. So in the studio I went, and I created a whole bunch of new songs and things that I was trying to finish, and I neglected school for that week. I had very supportive parents. I'll explain that in a little bit. Anyway, long story short, the following week, I sent off the tape. Nothing really happened, but I did get to meet them, and it was cool, and then later we all became friends and whatever. So, that following week, my mom said, Johnny, what do you want to put on the excuse? So remember that comment about the more money in one day than 2 weeks. Okay, so I said, Mom, tell them the truth. So she wrote, Paul Stanley from KISS called our house. My poor mom. Okay, so like first period and a half, Johnny to the principal's office. Johnny to the principal's office, please. I'm like, here we go. So it was at that point where this particular gentleman actually shoved me a little bit, which doesn't go over with an Italian guy, Sicilian. You know, we got a temper like this. And he screamed and yelled at me. And I said, no problem, sir. I understand. And I said, and someday you will understand also. So actually that was 11th grade. On my senior year, I told my parents, short of murder from my father, we calmed him down, and I said, don't worry, they just don't understand, you know? So my senior year, my mother woke me up time to go to school, and I said, no, not going. And she covered me and said, go back to sleep. So I had a very different life. My parents understood exactly what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do, and I focused on it 100%. The moral of the story, do what drives you, and do it 100%, okay? And do what makes you happy. It's not about the money. I can tell you guys, the things, the helicopters, the planes, they're cool as hell, but you don't need them, all right? You need health, you need love, you need happiness, you need to wake up and feel fulfilled doing whatever you do, okay? That's just that was my nice speech, okay?